I promise to reveal to you one of those 5 juicy wine and food pairing tips that I'll also share during the free video class. And it's what I call the lemon or butter test. So when you're debating about which wine goes with your dish, ask yourself this question. Would I squeeze some lemon juice on this dish, perhaps as you might for fresh seafood? Or would I slather some melting butter on it, like on a juicy steak? Do you have a thirst to learn about wine? Do you love stories about wonderfully obsessive people, hauntingly beautiful places, and amusingly awkward social situations? Well, that's the blend here on the Unreserved Wine Talk podcast. I'm your host, Natalie McLean, and each week I share with you unfiltered conversations with celebrities in the wine world, as well as confessions from my own tipsy journey as I write my 3rd book on this subject. I'm so glad you're here. Now pass me that bottle, please, and let's get started. Welcome to episode 48. Would you like to know how to taste, pair, and buy wine like a pro? Would you like to be able to sip on a wine and know exactly how to describe it, the aromas and the flavors? Would you like to know how to take any wine and pair it with the right dish, or conversely, any dish and pair it with the right wine? Would you like to walk into a liquor store and know exactly which new wine you want to buy, confident you'll love it, even though you've never tried it before? And finally, would you like to look at a restaurant wine list filled with wines you haven't tasted, but have the strategies to pick a great wine for your dining companions and all the different dishes that you've ordered? Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about in this special edition of the Unreserved Wine Talk podcast and my online course called the Wine Smart Course, a full-bodied framework to taste, pair, and buy wine like a pro. This course is perfect for you if you're just beginning to learn about wine, or you've been a wine lover for a while, or you've already taken 1 or 2 wine courses but would like to take your wine knowledge and confidence to the next level. So who is this not for? Well, masters of wine, master sommeliers, and those who have completed a full designation or program, taken it right to the end, not just the first 2 levels, may leave the room now. All right, I think they're gone. I still remember when I knew very little about wine beyond which labels I liked best. And I'd buy them over and over again, afraid to try something new in case it was a disappointment, because I didn't know why I liked what I liked. If you've ever felt this way, you're not alone. Over the past 20 years that I've been writing about wine, leading wine tastings, and teaching online video courses, I've picked up lots of great secrets to decoding wine. Some have been shared with me by the 270,000 wine lovers who subscribe to my weekly wine newsletter, and others I've discovered through my own tireless tasting and pairing experience. Yes, my liver for the people and for you. If you've been following my journey over the past few episodes, you know that I'm also launching a new free video class that will help to launch this new paid course, during which I'm going to share with you 5 wine and food pairing mistakes that can ruin your dinner and how to fix them forever. You'll find the link to that free class in the show notes at nataliemclean.com/48. You're going to get all of these juicy tips, whether you buy my course or not, because I really do want to make sure that you get as much pleasure as possible from your wine and food pairings. We work hard, and I think we should really enjoy the times we have to relax. I'm going to share with you one of those secrets near the end of this podcast. It's so good. I know you're going to love it. So let me share with you now some of the concepts that you'll learn in the Wine Smart course. In Module 1, you'll cut through the overwhelming amount of information out there about wine and learn what's really important to master first and what you can skip over and save for later. Yes, there's lots of free info on the internet. The problem is that it's not laid out coherently with a step-by-step system and approach from an expert you trust. For me, it's like when I wanted to increase my muscular strength without getting bulked up, going full Arnold Schwarzenegger, or more importantly, not getting injured because someone was showing me the wrong techniques on a free YouTube video or a blog post. Plus, when I'd search for those videos online, it's in an environment of total distraction. 2 hours later, after watching the best of Ellen's monologues, and yes, some hilarious cat videos. By the way, did you see the one where the cat is on the robot vacuum cleaner and is swatting the dog every time it circles around? Yeah, never mind. I'd surface and I'd go, where did the time go? Your time is valuable too, and if your intention is to learn about wine, do it in an environment where that's the sole focus, like an online course where we get together within a password-protected members area that's not Facebook or any other distracting environment. Just like getting in shape, learning about wine, when it's done right, is a methodical process. That doesn't mean it's boring. I will definitely infuse this experience with lots of dry humor, yep, pun intended, as well as personal stories, because I know that's how we learn. While I respect a big tome like the Oxford Companion to Wine by Jancis Robinson, I'll never read it cover to cover. Whereas I've read many terrific story-based wine books, from Sideways, which was eventually made into a movie, to Jay McInerney's Bacchus and Me. He also wrote Bright Lights, Big City. I learned a lot about wine from those books, and more importantly, I remembered it. That's why I based my first 2 books with Random House on stories about travels to various wine regions. And there's a balance, of course. But that's where your trusted expert comes in, someone who can give you the right blend of entertainment and education. Kind of like when my mother used to hide the green peas in the mashed potatoes when I was a kid. Not that tasting wine is anything like eating green peas straight up. So first, you're going to learn how to taste wine with me like the professionals do. Not only the 5 critical steps and what to look for in each step, but also how to develop a solid wine tasting vocabulary to understand what those expert tasting notes mean and the special terms. And you can use them too. You'll also learn how to tell if a wine is bad or if you just don't like it, including how to smell and identify the major faults in wine. Industry statistics indicate that 5 to 10% of all wine is faulty in some way, yet less than 1% of wine is sent back in a restaurant. A lot of people are drinking a lot of bad wine, thinking they just don't like the style or they're not sophisticated enough to appreciate it. That will not be you anymore. Most importantly, you'll become the expert on your palate, your own sense of taste. Not just which wines you like and which ones you don't, but also why you like them or don't. That is the key to being able to buy new wines you've never tasted before, but confident that you'll love them. And in doing that, you expand your world of pleasure as you open yourself up to the delicious diversity of wine, instead of buying the same wines over and over again. As I said, I've been there. In Module 2, you'll learn about the 4 most popular wines on this planet: Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Merlot. You'll discover which regions around the world excel at making these wines, how the styles differ, and how to pair them with food, from which dishes pair really well with them to which dishes clash. And you'll also know how to serve them, the right temperature, the right glassware, and whether or not you should decant the wine. You're going to enjoy this feast for your senses as we taste our way together through various pairings. In Module 3, you'll learn about the next 4 most popular wines of the world: Riesling, Pinot Grigio, Pinot Noir, and Shiraz Syrah. We'll cover the same key aspects with these wines: the regions that make them best, how they differ, pairing them with food, and how to serve them. In Module 4, you'll double down on wine and food pairing, going beyond what we cover in modules 2 and 3 so that no matter which wine or which dish you have, pairing them together is never hit or miss. We'll taste our way through more mouth-watering, savory pairings with new wines, and you'll learn why certain flavors work well together and others don't. 3 key shortcuts when pairing wine and food that you'll actually remember. Some terrible wine and food matches to avoid for the rest of your life, and why they don't work. And these are different, by the way, from the free video class. 7 classic food and wine pairings and why they became classics. Plus bonus tips for your holiday turkey dinners when the table is bursting with so many flavors, from cranberry sauce to mashed potatoes. Yes, please, no peas. And how on earth do you pick a wine to go with all of that, let alone all of the different palates of your friends and family? Plus, we'll also explore and taste unusual wine and food pairings, from fast food favorites, Chinese takeout or pizza, anyone, to tough matches such as quiche and asparagus, and why they change how you taste certain wines. Then finally, in Module 5, we'll take all that we learned together in the first 4 modules and use your new knowledge, your new wine superpower, to feel confident buying wine, whether you're in the liquor store, a restaurant, at a winery, or online purchasing. You'll learn how to get outside your comfort zone. You'll learn how to decode a wine label and the 3 things to look for that will give you clues to the wine's taste and style without tasting it. You'll discover how to choose a wine from a restaurant list with confidence, 4 tips to decipher any list, no matter how it's organized, and 2 smart questions to ask your server or sommelier. And finally, you'll learn how to pick a gift wine for a friend or a dinner party host or the boss. No fail wine gifts for any occasion or palate. I hope this sounds like an experience that you'd like to share with me. The core 5 modules are compact. No fluff, no tedium. I've decanted off all the sediment so that you can actually binge watch them Netflix style in less than 5 hours. Now, I said binge watch, not binge drink. But if you're thirsting for more, there are another 70 videos that answer just about any wine question you have. And if it's not there, I'll add it because I do keep updating the course, as well as 50 archived guided tastings. Those are not necessary to complete the course, but they're there for you when you feel like having a second helping, or I guess I should say topping up your glass. During the free class, I'll be offering a time-limited special price that's lower than the regular price that you see on the website for this course right now. So even if you can't start right away, take advantage of that price because it will go back up. And yes, that's my gentle but not so subtle way of getting you to treat yourself rather than staying on the fence. Plus, when you join me, you'll get lifetime access to the course materials, the videos, the workbooks, the tasting templates, the cheat sheets, as well as regular live online tastings with me that are ongoing, and they are also recorded and archived so that you don't miss a thing. So you can dive into the course when you're ready, perhaps during the holidays, or while you're on vacation, or whenever the time is right for you. Now, I promise to reveal to you one of those 5 juicy wine and food pairing tips that I'll also share during the free video class, and it's what I call the lemon or butter test. So when you're debating about which wine goes with your dish, ask yourself this question. Would I squeeze some lemon juice on this dish, perhaps as you might for fresh seafood? Or would I slather some melting butter on it, like on a juicy steak? If your answer is a squeeze of lemon, then look for wines that have a lemon or zesty citrus flavor and some mouth-watering, juicy, palate-cleansing acidity. Here's an additional tip. On the back label of the bottle for these wines, you'll often see the wine described as having notes of lemon, grapefruit, lime, and so on. These are usually zingy white wines like Riesling, Sauvignon Blanc, Gruner Veltliner, among others that we explore in the course. Conversely, if you have a richly flavored dish, say your steak is topped with some melting butter, then you're looking for a more robustly flavored wine, perhaps one with oak aging, as barrels often impart a buttery or smoky vanilla spice aroma and flavor to the wine. now we're likely looking for a robust red wine such as a Cabernet Sauvignon, a Shiraz, a Barolo, among other choices. This is a quick way to sort through thousands of wine and food combinations out there, and I have 4 more for you on the free class. Well, there you have it. You'll find a link to the free video class in the show notes at nataliemclain.com/48. I hope you'll join me there. What was your favorite tip from this episode? Share that with me on Twitter or Facebook and tag me at Natalie McClain. On Instagram, I'm at Natalie McClain Wine. If you liked this episode, please tell a friend about it, especially one who might also like to join us on the free video class. My podcast is easy to find, whether you search Google for its name, Unreserved Wine Talk, or on my name. I can't wait to share more wine stories with you next week. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this one. I hope something great is in your glass this week. Perhaps a wine that pairs really well with watching an online video class. You don't want to miss one juicy episode of this podcast, especially the secret full-bodied bonus episodes that I don't announce on social media. So subscribe for free now at nataliemclain.com/subscribe. Meet me here next week. Cheers.